So, Reid, when you're talking to someone about having sex in the future, should you ever give them a timeline?
In the future? Like 69?
Well,
I'm Reid from readaboutsex.com!
I'm Cathy from theintimacydojo.com.
Can't you wait?
And if you're talking to a partner or someone you've been connected with...
In the future.
You're talking about maybe you're not having sex right now for some reason, maybe you've chosen to be celibate for a while, you're in a relationship where you agreed not to for a certain time, or you might have some health issues, or just, not feeling sexy. When you talk to people you play with, should you give them I think I'll be fine in 6 weeks, so let's check in then, or... Well,
a check-in is a check-in. I will sleep with you in 6 weeks is just a bad idea.
Can you explain why?
Because you can't guarantee that people are going to be, wanting to have sex or in the mood or whatever, and then you're building expectations. And usually people promise people things because they don't want to upset them. Mm-hmm. But then you're making, around sex it's really tricky because if you really want to have sex with people who want to have sex, the easiest way to do that is to just give everybody choice to make decisions in the moment, mm-hmm. and then hang out with people who can handle disappointment.
Yeah.
And then that way it's like, oh, well, I know tonight was date night, but I just, I can't. I have a rash, I have this, I have that, I'm just tired.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can, when you're talking to someone, it's really easy to say, check back. I have there's an inclination, when I'm dating someone, okay, talk to me in a month, mm-hmm. and let's see. And there's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes I'm just putting off something too. I really don't want to go back out with you, but I'm just gonna say a month because then I don't have to face it right now.
Yeah, and I'm also not saying don't plan. You can mm-hmm. plan a sexy night or something like that. Just understand that planning is not promising, and that giving people room to be able to change their mind, and and everybody involved being able to handle their disappointment, which means they can still feel disappointed,
yeah.
But they're not going to guilt trip you. Ideally, they're not going to blame you. Having those skill sets and then arriving in the moment, even if you've got all the candles lit and everything, and you're like, you know what, it's just, we're not feeling it.
Yeah.
It's whenever you're not feeling it, don't do it. And then figure out what else you want to create, or, if you want to go even geekier, figure out what's the need you're trying to get filled, and then can you get it filled in a way without the sex? And that can be tricky for a lot of people because we use sex in our culture to, as a form of approval. Mm-hmm. And that's certainly true for penis owners.
Yeah. So where do you, we have another video about sometimes you just, if you want to get in the mood, sometimes you just start... You can start without expectations, start messing around, and sometimes you're like, oh yeah, I do. I am in the mood.
Yeah.
How do you know where to draw the line there?
Well, there's I heard Esther Perel talk about this first,
mm-hmm.
and I'm sure there are other people that talk about this, but it's the idea of when you're in neutral, you're not, it's understanding when you're a yes, a hell yes, mm-hmm. and then really being able to identify when you're a no, and then the place of neutral where you're like, meh. I'm not in the mood, but I'm not a no. Mm-hmm. That's very different than I'm not in the mood.
Right.
And understanding that trying to do things when you're not in the mood will either blow up in your face, and not in fun ways, or it just breeds resentment, or eventually leaves people afterwards feeling like something was off or regrettable.
You can usually tell if someone's not really, at least subconsciously, you're like, there's something not right about it. Mm-hmm. And it usually isn't a good experience for anybody.
Yeah, and you should call the time out and have a redo. I have gotten laid a lot because I'm okay with stopping things in the middle and being like, is it just me or is things don't feel right? And because everybody's trying to fulfill, if you're the person who can call a time out and have a check-in, take a break, or even just be like, it doesn't, something's off, let's not. Yeah. That's just being a decent human being, and then people feel safer with you, mm-hmm. Which can, use this for good, not for evil, make you way more attractive for people in the future.
Good, thank you.
Sex should be a get to, not a have to.
Please leave your comments below and let us know what you think. Would you want to tell someone, hey, I won't have sex, I'll have sex with you in 6 months or 6 weeks, or how would you like to handle that?
Thanks for tuning in, Sex Geek. If you would like to continue with the brain sex, do me a favor and click subscribe right here. If you'd like to watch me on social media, that's where you're going to go. Next video, maybe? And if you really would like your own Sex Geek t-shirt, please click right here, right now. Boop. No, really, like...